Andrew Hall hit 100 and David Willey added to his reputation with 77, a career best, as the LV County Championship Second Division leaders Northamptonshire got runs on the board on the second day of their match with Leicestershire at Wantage Road. Only 34 overs were possible on the first day, in which the home side struggled with the bat in making 91 for 4, but this match started to turn in their favour as Hall and Rob Newton batted through the morning session with very few alarms. Newton was off to a flyer, taking 10 runs off the day's opening over, including a pulled 6 off Ollie Freckingham, whose day did get a lot better. Newton recently suffered an injury but looked in supreme form here, especially when the Leicestershire attack dropped in short. Hall was no slouch either. There is a high level of confidence running right through this Northants team, hardly surprising given the way they've performed in the Championship so far this summer. Even with their captain out for 6 weeks with a broken digit and losing other players to Scotland, they just continue to impress. 60 runs were smashed off the first 13 overs of the day as Northamptonshire quickly laid down a marker of intent on the second morning, with both batsmen racing to 50s. Newton is a shot maker and a very good one too. His 5th 4 to go with that earlier maximum took him to his first half century of the season of 80 deliveries. He is a stand and deliver type of cricketer who bats in an unfussy manner, knowing his strengths. Hall was, naturally, a little more circumspect, and having spent a while in the 40s, he also reached his half-century, also his first of the campaign, off 101 balls, an innings containing 7 fours. Leicestershire's young attack were finding it difficult to break through. And that continued through the remainder of the morning. Although green in its nature, the pitch was playing very well, and both Newton and Hall could easily express themselves when they were given the opportunity to play their shots. And that was quite frequent in the morning, a morning they totally dominated. Just after the lunch break, they carried their excellent partnership to 143 in 46 overs. They brought up their first batting point by the time that Newton was out 7 minutes after the interval, cutting a ball from Jiganake but only into the hands of Ramnaresh Sarwan. That sizable partnership was really needed as Northamptonshire had 2 inexperienced players in next. This was Rob Keogh's second first-class match, and his innings didn't last long. He hit 6 in his only previous innings and had made 8 this time when he was LBW to Nake. Ben Duckett's debut first-class innings lasted half an hour, in which he made 5. He then chased a wide ball from Freckingham and hit it to Sarwan to leave Northamptonshire on 229 for 7. So here we went again. All season long, the home side have found runs aplenty from their bowlers, and that's now almost become expected of them. Willey again didn't disappoint. A talented left-arm bowler, he continues to impress with the bat low down the order. He struck 4 50s last summer, the season in which he really established himself, and he was soon heading towards his second of this season with an array of splendid shots. Hall had been on 80 when Willey joined him, and Willey had raced to 40 by the time that the South African reached his superb century, the 13th of his career and his first for 2 seasons. He averaged only 19 with the bat in his final season as skipper last year, so this must have been a special moment for the former Test player. He needed 209 balls for 3 figures and had hit a dozen boundaries in that. He also batted through 2 sessions on this day, showing, even at nearly 38, that he has the powers of concentration without heading for the Werthers. Willey, a much younger man meanwhile, raced to his 50 from 51 balls, 9 of which he'd smashed to the boundary rope. Once more he was sharing a very valuable partnership at the foot of the innings. Willey celebrated his good news by hooking Freckingham for a maximum as the runs continued to flow. Indeed, this pair added 115 runs against the second new ball in only 22 overs. It was another inspirational performance from them. By the time that Hall was bowled by Freckingham just into the 6th hour of his energy-sapping knock, Northamptonshire were heading for a 4th batting point on 344 for 8. You now expected Stephen Crook to come out and blast the ball about the place, but for once he failed, being dismissed 3 balls later by Freckingham, who had his first fifer in only his 5th first-class match. The only thing missing from this extraordinary last 3 for Northamptonshire is that none of them have made 100 so far this season. This boundary took Willey to 77, the best score of his short career. But that's where his innings ended, as he used the bottom of his bat to ferry a ball from Freckenham into the hands of Josh Cobb, with the bowler ending with the admirable analysis of 6 for 125, the home side had been dismissed for 355. Leicestershire had made a change at the top of their order after a run of low scores for Michael Thornley, and so it was Greg Smith who came out with Niall O'Brien. They did well too. One result of the many runs scored by the lower Northamptonshire order is that frustrations come into the opposition's batsmen's minds. Lots of late order runs have often been followed by plenty of top order wickets for the other side, but not on this occasion, as both openers made a steady start to their respective innings with some neat shots included therein. O'Brien had been dropped behind on 8 off Trent Copeland, but the two combined to better effect to get rid of the Irishman on 29. It was a moment to ease any nerves Duckett may have been feeling. 8 overs remained, but they were safely negotiated by Ned Eckersley and Smith, who'd seen their side to a promising start by the close of play. By then, Leicestershire had reached 89 for 1 from 19 overs, a pleasing response by them. They now have to hope for more of the same on day 3, when they'll resume with Smith on 36 and Eckersley on 16, 266 runs behind, but with plenty more batting to come.